Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. We get so many requests, and this time we're diving into the world of Damon braces. Yeah, seems like everyone's talking about them. We even had a listener write in wanting all the details. Maybe they're considering it for themselves, maybe for someone they know. Either way, by the end of this deep dive, you'll be able to dazzle them with your Damon braces knowledge. So, no more mystery, right? We're gonna break it all down, what they are, how they work, the whole 9 yards. And hey, even if you're not quite ready to open your own orthodontic practice afterward, you'll definitely walk away with some aha moments. Ready to jump in? Okay, first things first. What exactly are Damon braces? They kind of sound like something out of a sci-fi movie, right? Luckily, our listener sent in this excerpt, and it says they're self-ligating. Anyone else scratching their head at that word? Self-ligating. Well, it turns out it means these braces don't use those traditional elastic ties. Those colorful rubber bands you always see on braces. Yeah, those. Damon braces don't need them.
That's right. And that's a game changer for a lot of people.
No more struggling to floss around those tiny rubber bands. And easier cleaning, too. Sign me up.
Exactly. But it goes beyond just the aesthetics and convenience.
Okay, now we're getting to the good stuff, right?
This self-ligating system, it's actually impacting the entire treatment process.
Really? How so?
Okay, imagine this. A sliding door versus a regular door with hinges.
Okay, I'm picturing it. Go on.
The sliding door, it just glides open, right? Almost no friction. That's kind of what's happening with Damon braces. The wire, that's what guides the teeth movement. It moves more freely. And that can mean faster treatment, potentially, because there's less friction and gentler pressure on your teeth, too.
That makes a lot of sense. So faster treatment, easier to keep clean. Am I missing anything?
Yeah, like you mentioned, easier cleaning.
Okay, I can see why everyone's so curious about these. But let's be real. Faster treatment, that's a bit of a magic phrase, isn't it?
Yeah.
How much faster are we talking, realistically?
Yeah, the million-dollar question. It's true. It is a potential advantage of Damon braces, this reduced treatment time. And like I said, because of the lighter forces, the teeth might move more freely. Some studies even suggest Damon braces could shorten treatment time, sometimes by several months compared to traditional braces.
Wow, months, that's significant.
It can be, but, and this is important, every single case is different. It's not one size fits all when it comes to braces.
It's true, I guess I would have assumed.
Treatment time really depends on a bunch of factors, but the biggest one is the complexity of the bite.
Hold on. Just to clarify, by bite, we mean how your upper and lower teeth fit together, right? Like, I know some people have an overbite, where the top teeth overlap the bottom teeth too much. Or an underbite, where it's the opposite.
You got it.
And then there's the crossbite, and I'm not even going to try to explain that one, but
Yeah.
You get the idea.
Exactly. You've covered the most common ones, and you're right. The severity of that bite issue will play a big role in how long you'll need braces. Your overall oral health matters too, and even your genetics can factor in.
Wow, I never would have thought of that. So it sounds like Damon braces might mean a shorter time in braces for some people, but it's not a guarantee.
That's the key takeaway.
Okay, that makes total sense. So faster treatment's a possibility, but not a sure thing. What about downsides? There's got to be some, right? We've got to give our listeners the full picture here.
Absolutely. Got to be realistic, right? There are a few things to keep in mind.
Lay it on me. What are the potential downsides our listeners should know about?
Well, let's talk about the brackets themselves, the Damon brackets. They're actually designed to be smaller than traditional brackets.
Oh, okay, so less noticeable. I'm guessing that's a good thing for most people.
Exactly. But, and this might surprise you, that smaller size can actually be a challenge sometimes.
Really? Why is
Yeah.
that? I figured smaller would always be better.
It's all about physics.
Oh, okay.
Think about it with larger teeth. There's just more surface area to cover, right? More tooth to move.
Right.
So it's like if you're trying to move something small and light, you don't need as much force as you would for something big and heavy.
Okay, that analogy makes sense. So are you saying that for bigger teeth, you might actually need a bigger bracket to get a good grip and move them properly?
You got it. It's about having enough surface area for the bracket to do its job.
Wow, I never would have thought of that. So it's a trade-off then, smaller and less visible, but maybe less effective in some cases.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to talk to an orthodontist, get their expert opinion. They can see if Damon braces are actually a good fit for your teeth.
Makes sense. They're the pros, after all. Speaking of which, our listener was also curious about the cost. All this fancy technology, it's got to be expensive, right?
Well, the good news is Damon braces are generally in a similar price range as traditional braces.
Oh, okay, so not necessarily a deal breaker then.
Yeah, from what I've seen, it's usually somewhere between $2,000 and $7,000.
Okay, that's good to know. Comparable at least. But I'm guessing there are other things that could affect the final price.
Oh, absolutely. That price range, that's just a starting point,
Yeah.
really. The actual cost. That can vary a lot depending on, well, a few things.
Like what?
Where you live, for one.
Yeah.
Big cities, they tend to have higher costs for just about everything, orthodontics included.
Right. Makes sense.
And then there's the complexity of your case, how much work needs to be done,
So someone with a really severe bite issue might need more appointments, more adjustments, which all adds up, right?
Exactly. And of course, can't forget about everyone's favorite topic, insurance.
Ah, yes. Insurance, always a wild card. So it's probably smart to check with your insurance company first, see what they cover, right?
Absolutely. They might cover some of the cost for Damon braces, or they might have a different policy compared to traditional braces. So yeah, definitely worth checking.
Good advice. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here, the ins and outs of Damon braces, pros, cons, even the cost. But this is all just information, right? What's our listener supposed to do with all this? So let's say our listener's hearing all this and thinking, Damon braces, okay, maybe this is for me. Where do I even start?
Well, the most important thing is to talk to an orthodontist.
Makes sense. They're the experts, right?
Exactly. It's like you wouldn't self-diagnose based on a quick Google search, would you?
Definitely not.
An orthodontist, they're going to do a full exam, take x-rays, get impressions of your teeth, the whole 9 yards.
Wow.
They'll look at everything, how severe your bite is, the size of your teeth, your overall oral health, and then they can tell you, yeah, Damon braces are a good option for you. Or, you know what, there might be something else that's a better fit.
So it's really about getting that personalized advice based on your specific needs.
Exactly. One size doesn't fit all when it comes to braces.
That's good advice. But let's say our listener, they go to the orthodontist, everything looks good, Damon braces it is. What else should they be thinking about at that point? I mean, besides the whole, braces part.
That's a really good point. We've been talking a lot about the technical stuff, but it's important to remember there's a bigger picture here too, right?
What do you mean?
Think about orthodontic treatment. It's not just about straightening your teeth. It's about how that impacts your life, your confidence, your self-esteem.
Oh, I see what you're saying. It's about that feeling of, wow, I have a great smile.
Exactly. It can be really transformative for people. When you feel good about your smile, it changes how you interact with the world.
It's amazing how much of a difference a smile can make.
It's not just about looks. It's about feeling good about yourself inside and out.
I love that. Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. For our listener who's taking notes, what are the key takeaways about Damon braces?
Well, first off, remember Damon braces, they're self-ligating. That means no elastic ties, which can be a game changer for a lot of people. And yeah, potentially that means faster treatment, easier cleaning, more comfortable overall. But, and I can't stress this enough, everyone is different.
Right. What works for one person might not work for another.
Exactly. So manage those expectations. Know that your experience with Damon braces, it might be different from someone else's, and that's okay.
And at the end of the day, the best thing you can do is talk to a professional.
100%.
They can give you the personalized advice you need to make the best decision for your smile. This has been so fascinating. I feel like I learned so much, and hopefully our listeners did too. Big thanks to you for joining us and sharing your expertise.
My pleasure.
And to everyone listening, we hope this deep dive gave you a lot to think about. Until next time, keep those smiles shining.